Hey guys, welcome to 0 to 3. My name is Justin Bailey. We're going to be looking at Romans chapter 4 this morning. What I want to do is I want you to think about a time in your life, or maybe imagine an event that you were going to work really hard for some kind of really great benefit. Like at your job, if you were going to work toward getting a good raise, or at a sport, if you were going to train really hard to be competitive, or even in class, if you were going to work hard, get some good grades. That's what I want you to think about. Now, what we're going to end up doing is putting ourselves in the mind of a first century Jew, because as they grew up, they studied the law, they memorized the Old Testament, and it was all for the purpose of drawing close to God and being a good steward of their religion. Now imagine, as we approach Romans chapter 4, that Paul says, you know what, all of this stuff doesn't matter. It comes through faith. In fact, that's how it worked with your father Abraham and another person you looked up to in your faith named King David, somebody that was very prominent in the Jewish faith. Both of those guys were granted righteousness because of faith, not because of deeds. So you can imagine the disappointment if you would work so hard for good grades, to be competitive at a sport, or to get a great raise, and at the end of that, you know what, your boss or your coach said, you know what, I know you worked hard, but it's really not about this stuff. You were kind of spinning your wheels. I would have much preferred if you had just done nothing but trusted and believed that I would give you good grades because I'm a great person. Now that wouldn't happen, but you can understand the disappointment that would go on in their hearts. This is, for a lot of Jews, this had been their life, working this way, thinking this way, in order to receive this reward. And here comes Paul and says, well, it's not about that. So as we think about this today, I know that in our lives, I know my tendency sometimes is to think about my relationship with God in terms of a performance-based, works-based ideology. I think, man, if I do this, God will love me. Man, if I do this, I'll be holy. And really, it doesn't work like that. I am loved. I'm holy. I'm accepted right now. And God's just saying, you know what? Receive the faith that I've given you to believe in me. And I'm gonna impute to you righteousness. I'm gonna give you righteousness you don't deserve. So as you read Romans chapter 4 this week, I want you to be aware of any part of your life that you're not already giving it up to God and saying, God, I know this comes from you. I'm just giving it back. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop me a line, justin@ncctk.com, and we'll see you next Monday. Take care.